everybody, and thank you very much for stopping by for my review of Incredibles 2. So Incredibles 2 was once again written and directed by Brad Bird, who was responsible for the first film, and this one takes place very soon after the events of the first movie. So once again we have the Parr family, who are a family of people with superpowers, and they're still coming to terms with this whole idea that superheroes have been outlawed because of the collateral damage and destruction that they cause while they're trying to do some good. Stepping up, we have a brother and sister duo who are kind of big media magnates, and they come up with a plan in order to help superheroes come back into the spotlight. But in the meantime, we have a supervillain named Screenslaver who manipulates people through hypnosis, through TV screens, things like that. And yeah, their MO is basically to stop all this from happening, so superheroes will once again be back in hiding. So the first Incredibles came out in 2004, which, if you put your mind to it and use mathematical powers, was 14 years ago. And that's quite a long time between Incredibles flicks. But the first one was such a breakout film. It was one of Pixar's most critically acclaimed films and loved by the fans as well, because it did something different with the superhero genre, in as much as it had really cool action scenes and superhero elements, but it also had the family dynamic and a lot of comedy stemming from that. So once again, we have pretty much the entire voice cast of the first movie are back in this one, and look, I've got to say straight off the bat, this is one of the most amazing looking movies I have seen all year. On a side note, I'm actually going to try and get through this review without using the adjective incredible. So yeah, really amazing looking movie. In terms of the CG and animation, oh man, I mean, this stuff just keeps getting better every time a new big movie comes out. It's just gotten to a point where everything looks real. You know, I'm not talking about the characters because they all look so stylized, but in terms of the backgrounds and things like that, like everything looks so real. And even with the characters, I mean, things like material, like clothing and hair, especially the hair, it just looks realistic. It's absolutely... I was gonna say it. And I must say that the 3D in this film was absolutely fantastic. This is easily one of the best looking 3D films I've seen in years, so definitely check it out in that format if you get a chance. And another one of my most favorite parts about this film was the whole look and aesthetic of it. I mean, the first film had this really cool kind of a 60s retro vibe going through it, even though it was most likely set in present day, but everything looked kind of like it was from the 60s, you know, the cars and a lot of the fashions and things, everything looks 60s. And this film did exactly the same thing. Like, it was set immediately after the first film, and yeah, you could easily watch the two back to back and you couldn't tell 14 years have gone by. And I've got to hand it to the score by Michael Giacchino. Oh man, you know, I love a score that complements the visuals perfectly. I mean, when you've got sound and vision just coming together to make one whole thing, it's kind of rare. Like, it doesn't really happen a lot these days, but this was an extraordinary score. It was very similar to the first one. You know, they didn't sort of go like, oh, 14 years has gone by, we've got to do a more, you know, modern score or something like that. Yeah, no, it was absolutely a joy to listen to. I thought the voice acting from everybody was great. Yeah, everyone did a great job with that. And yeah, I mean, look, it was a really entertaining film. You know, there was a lot of really cool action sequences, and yeah, there weren't really any dull moments in the film. But look, it wasn't perfect, and I wouldn't even really say this movie was great. And the main reason behind that was it just kind of felt like a continuation of the first movie. I mean, when you look at great sequels of film history, you know, they really ramp things up for the second one. Things are a lot bigger. Things are a lot more emotional. But this time round, even though it was an entertaining film and I dug it, like, I just didn't really sort of get that sense of bigness from it. It was just kind of like, you know, just take the characters and put them through another superhero perilous situation. And aside from that, like, Pixar are known for hitting people in the feels, you know, for really tugging the heartstrings of audiences these days, even if it's just in like one sequence at the beginning or middle or somewhere. But this movie didn't have any of that. It didn't really have anything that really sort of struck a chord within me. I could tell it was trying to do that in terms of in the plot, which you get from the trailers, Elastigirl is the one who has to go off and sort of do the main mission, whereas Bob, the dad, is the one left at home looking after the kids. And on a side note, a lot of people were complaining that, oh my god, this is feminism being forced down our throats again, that sort of thing. It's not. There was actually a really perfectly good reason why they chose Elastigirl to go on this mission, so don't get your panties in a twist, go check it out, trust me on this one. And there are other elements, like with Violet, the daughter, with, her and a guy that she likes in high school, which, again, I just thought they could have been done better. They could have been a bit more fleshed out, I guess. And this movie did the typical superhero movie thing. It suffered from a really lame villain. Nowhere near as memorable as Syndrome from the first movie. And aside from that, it was never really clear what Screenslaver's motivation or purpose was for doing what they were doing in terms of trying to stop this whole thing of getting superheroes back into the limelight. Like, there was no real reason for it. Or did I miss something? It's entirely possible I may have missed it, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't really explain it too well. But look, overall, I really dug the film. I had a great time watching it. It was a good, fun time at the movies. I'll definitely add it to the collection when it comes out. It just suffered from a few little minor things, but I'm going to give Incredibles 2 a 7.5 out of 10. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch my review of Incredibles 2, and thank you very much to everyone who has been coming onto my channel and commenting on things lately. I've been meeting a few more new people and getting some interactions going, and I have really enjoyed it. But that being said, over to you guys. What did you think of Incredibles 2 if you've seen it, and which one did you prefer, the first one or the second one? And stay tuned to my channel, I've got more reviews coming up. There's a whole bunch of movies that have just all come out at once, and I'm trying to find time to catch up with everything. I've still got Ocean's 8. What else was there? Tag. I'm actually interested in seeing that, even though I haven't seen a trailer for it or anything, but I've heard it's good. And Upgrade as well, I think looks like a bit of fun. So stay tuned for those ones. But in the meantime, let me know what you thought of Incredibles 2. Drop me some comments either here or on Facebook. All the social media links are in the description below, because I like to talk about movies, and I would love to talk about movies with you. Catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.